friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kaley Gray and I'm making weekly vlogs about life, faith, and relationships. So if you have not subscribed, please hit that red button below and be sure to give this a thumbs up. The reason that I say that is that helps with the algorithm. It helps people see these vlogs. It lets the YouTube algorithm know or whatever that you guys like this, and so it helps me to be able to get my content out there. So if you could do that little click for me, that would be absolutely amazing. So today we're going to be talking about 3 ways to know that you probably shouldn't be dating this guy. So I even took it one step further and I came up with 3 C's of why you shouldn't be dating them. The first one is compromise. Now, it's so easy when you get into a relationship to kind of like forget who you are and want to be the person they want you to be. So there's so many different areas of compromise. Now wait, before we go on, there are good compromise too. There are things that later in relationships that you do have to compromise on, but I'm talking about some red flag compromise. So for instance, like you like to go to church all the time. He doesn't. Well, more than likely, if he doesn't like going to church, sooner or later, you're gonna stop going to church because you're gonna wanna do what he wants to do. And I know there's always like, oh, he's gonna come with me someday. Girl, if he is not showing the action now, he's not gonna be doing it later. So there's a different thing, like if he's never been to church and you invite him to church, like that's great, but I probably wouldn't start dating him if he was just a baby Christian at the time, because there's just so much that needs to happen in his life, especially if you are farther along in the faith. So that's a totally different vlog. Anyways, there's just so many different areas of compromising. Like maybe you don't drink and he drinks, okay? And peer pressure, it's a real thing. I remember in college, like all the time, people were like, oh, Kaley, here, just take this, just drink this, you know? And I was like, no, I don't drink, it's not my thing. And there's more reasons of why I've never drank. It's more of like a generational curse in my family. I'm not against people that drink, like, you know, I'm not trying to condemn you or say anything bad about you, but for me personally, like drinking, it doesn't bring me closer to Jesus, and I've just never had the desire for it. Plus, it was just a generational curse in my family and just something I never wanted to open that door for. And so there's a difference between drinking and getting drunk, and that's a whole nother vlog as well. Man, I feel like just vlogs are gonna be coming up out of this. But if you are around somebody that is drinking all the time, more than likely the peer pressure is going to come up, and maybe you had these standards of like you didn't want to drink or you don't want to, and then they do, then more than likely you're going to be drinking with them. And so bad company corrupts good morals. Like there's a scripture in the Bible. And so that's the same with friendships. Like if you hang around people that are in a bad crowd, more than likely your actions are gonna start changing to what they're doing. And so if you're hanging around somebody that doesn't have the same standards as you and you start dating them, then more than likely your standards are gonna change as well. So the first one is compromise. Watch out. That's a little red flag to be watching out for, is you're compromising what you are true to. The next one is control. All right, second C, control. Is he controlling you? Like, does he control like who you hang out with, who you get to see? Is he like controlling, like doesn't want you to be around your family, doesn't want to be around your friends, like things like that? Those are like major red flags. And it's one thing like if the people you're hanging around aren't good, but if you've had like a great relationship with your family and then all of a sudden this guy is like, no, doesn't want you to hang out with your family, he just wants it to be you and him, that's a major red flag. I'm not saying you need to have everybody in your relationship, but you need to have those accountability partners. You need to have people around you. So make sure he's not controlling everything you do. Like, is he the only one that gets to pick out the movies, where you guys eat? You know, there's just certain things. Like, is he allowing you to give some feedback of like what you would like to do in the relationship, or is it his way or the highway? So that is a major red flag, because of course, girls, we want the attention, we want to be loved, and so a lot of times we will cower down and do what the guy wants to do all the time, because we're like, well, we just want to be loved by him. But that's not always the case. Not every guy is controlling. And so that is just a major red flag that you need to be watching. So compromise, controlling. My last C for the day is communication. How is he communicating with you? How is he communicating with others around you? How is he communicating with his friends? Is he someone that always has to pump himself up? Like, is he just always like talking about himself? He never asks about you. He never, checks in on you, or if he does, then he like turns it around to him and it's always about him. You want to make sure that you find somebody that's a good listener as well as can communicate. Is he just super negative in his speaking? Does he always talk down and negative about your friends, about your family, even about you in certain ways, like put you down, belittle you? Like, girl, you do not deserve that. You want somebody that is going to be there to encourage you and lift you up, and you can do the same for them. So communication is so important, not only in the dating relationship, but that, like, if it's happening now, like, just think about what's gonna happen when you're married. And maybe it's like a conversation. Like, I'm not saying you have to break up with them, but maybe it's a conversation like, hey, like, I don't really like the way that you're communicating to me, and it always comes across this way. Maybe nobody's ever told him that the way he's coming across is cocky and it just, is rude. Maybe no one's ever told him that, and maybe you need to be the one to tell him that. And if you don't see, change happening, then I would say, see you later, even though that doesn't start with a C. But anyways, so those are my 3 C's. Be mindful of compromising, of control, and communication. There's so many more things that you can be looking for in relationships and what to watch out for, but those are 3 that came to my mind of to be watching out if you shouldn't be dating this guy. And if you have more ideas of, things that you need to be mindful of while stepping into that season, comment below. I want to see them, and bonus points if they start with a C. So anyways, I hope you guys have a great Friday, and I will see you next week.